Yet another Mars artifact. More questions now asked. A piece of sheet metal with a round hole found on Mars. This is it. Where did this come from? An incredible discovery seems to have been made on the surface of Mars, and it can certainly be included in the collection of all those objects that show another reality on the red planet. And this is according to a Sci-fi article. A piece of sheet metal with a round hole. When Spain's Clara Ross saw the Sol 2312 photo and the Space Image Processing Center, she immediately noticed that a very special content almost at its center, enlarged it enough without spoiling the resolution, noticing and stopping for a second, and sending the image directly to the supervisor with a message if he wanted them to discuss it before doing anything. The supervisor called her into his office, mentioned for her to sit down and turn the screen so they could both see it. "I hear you, Clara. Unfold your thinking. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, at a previous meeting, that an interest was expressed if we were to start pre-screening the world for random findings that would indicate intelligent life on Mars." Immediately the image clicked for me, he said, and at this point he caught up and stopped. He restrained himself from continuing, and at the last moment she decided not to say her thoughts, yet that what she was seeing was probably a piece of sheet metal with a round hole. And the chief said, "You remember very well." And realizing that the main subject of the picture was an object with a round hole, he continued and he said, "Even though you are new here, you should know that Mars is full of them. Many stones have rounded dimples in them. The first pictures of the surface of Mars from Viking 1 and 2 mission in 1976 show that the planet is full of such things. As Mars is hit by meteorites, many drill into small pieces of rock and form perfect holes inside them. It also could have formed from a bubble in molten volcanic rock that burst. Then the rock cooled, leaving such a hole." "I saw no such signs," Clara Ross declared confidently. "I certainly did not have your experience. I would say, however, that this object has the perfect appearance of sheet metal, hence an essentially industrialized object. The entire surrounding area is empty of anything else. That a small meteorite fell and so randomly pierced the object in question as if it had been aimed at it seems to me a very extreme scenario. As for a volcanic eruption thousands of years ago, without the object having seen some dust on it, the object is shiny, and I would say it's metal, well-polished metal, maybe something like a piece of sheet metal with a round hole. I would say, if I may, that it could be irrefutable evidence that something living there built it. Artifact by intelligent inhabitants of this planet. The circle has not been punched, it has been cut after it was first drawn. That's what smooth edges show," Clara insisted at last, and also the boss smiled, winked at her as if to tell her that he was cutting her mind with a razor, or at least that's what Clara understood. Finally, he told her in ways as if he had no more time to continue the conversation, "Post a picture, black and white, without comments." It flashed through Clara Ross that what she claimed to be a piece of sheet metal with a round hole was not made by Martians, but by people who got there before our machines. A crazy thought. He kicked her out immediately. She went straight to her office and followed the instructions exactly as she was told. A piece of sheet metal with a round hole found on Mars. Undeniable proof that someone made it. This is from March JPL NASA, and I'll leave a link below for you for this. The sheet metal. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Thank you. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.